Good evening. Welcome to Garbage Theater. I'm your host tonight, John, here with my co-host Blake.
Yup.
On this episode, we're talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. And in a extra special event, first time ever having guests on the show, we're joined by the Multiversal Soldiers from the Multiversal Soldiers podcast, Michael Broida and Rob Townsend.
Hey ho.
Whoosh. Did you hear me whoosh in? That was the speed force. I just crashed through a glass window.
Damn, what an entrance.
Mm-hmm. I'm just sitting on the edge of my bed. Nothing dramatic here.
No. Just buried you under some dirt for about 3/4 of the movie.
Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
It's so much fun to be here.
You.
Thank you so much, guys. When you proposed this, it felt like the perfect crossover. Our podcast is definitely mostly focused on things that nobody's heard of, which is probably why we're not very popular.
Same.
So, to this definitely wouldn't cut the mustard for us. This is way too talked about, way too popular. So
way too popular for us. Yeah.
It's fun to dive into it though. You guys rock. We love your show. So this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad somebody's having fun.
I think Zack Snyder had a lot of fun. Well, he didn't have a lot of fun, and then they let him have way too much fun.
Yeah, they're like, we know you had a tough time.
Boy, yeah, this is like a big Band-Aid for Zack. Good. I'm glad he got the opportunity. We'll get into my feelings, but
yeah. So I mean, up top, I'm putting it out there that I kind of like this movie. I think it's one of Snyder's best movies, which is honestly a low bar.
Yeah. The bar's kind of laying on the ground for me.
Sure.
But I still have a ton of shit to talk on it. So
I didn't really have a Zack Snyder opinion, I feel like, until this movie came out. And then I think this kind of solidified it for me. And in the time we've had to watch this and talk about doing this record and taking notes and whatnot, he's already released another movie. And I think that's just even more solidified my opinion. So, not to spoil the timeline here, but good Lord, to have those two movies back to back one another, just crazy. This for me was like Zack Snyder the movie, though. This one felt more like, and I think that's kind of what I've heard the most, compliments of it is like, this is a true artist's vision, which sure it is. Arts.
Yeah, but anything's a true artist's vision.
That's a great point.
Didn't some assholes just sell an invisible statue for like 18 grand or something like that?
I think James Franco sold air once. You can do anything. It's a banana on a wall is art.
Right.
So take that for what it's worth. But I definitely think that this is maybe the most Zack Snyder-y movie of all the Zack Snyder movies, and maybe that's why I didn't like it. Maybe that's what I'm realizing.
See, I kind of disagree on that a bit because, I've been following them. It's like I saw Dawn of the Dead remake, and then I've sort of been chasing that ever since. I'm just like, man, when's Zack Snyder going to put out a movie that good again? And so far, never. But
yeah.
Well, okay, I was going to say there's nothing Zack Snyder-y about that movie, and then I just thought of what made that movie so much fun, really. Among other things, the performances are great, the plot is great, but the needle drops in that fucking movie. You got Lounge Against the Machine, that's used like several times in that movie to great effect, and that's kind of one of the things people still talk about that movie. Mm-hmm. I do not think it's as successful in this movie. And calling this as a movie is really a stretch, because this is 4 hours of content. I don't think it's really a 4-hour movie per se.
I did take exception to it being called a movie, or that it was like Zack Snyder's vision of a movie. I'm like, no director ever envisions putting a 4-hour movie in the theater. Like the theater chains wouldn't take it. They wouldn't get enough showings per day or whatever.
No, yeah, so it's like if Zack Snyder made Metropolis, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, it's not his original vision. It's just like he got to be as self-indulgent as possible on someone else's time.
Yeah.
So that part kind of bothered me.
That goes to the other part of the reason why I just think, like, in a deep down gut feeling kind of way, I couldn't get down with this movie, because I feel like this is rewarding toxic fandom in the worst kind of way. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, especially like, I mean, the fact that people are like review bombing other Warner Brothers properties just because they're like, how dare you do this to my boy Zachy, who made my favorite movie 300 all those years ago. You know, that's kind of the energy that you get from some of these fans. And I'm not saying that's every fan, because I mean, that's, you know, there's lots of people that like this movie, but
I think that's par for the course when you're talking about DC fans.
That's a big energy.
It's coming from DC fans.
But I think also, but you have to associate now, because he's forced himself in there. Zack Snyder is like tried to make himself self-identified with the DC brand because of his control over this cinematic universe, in the way that, you know, what started with just a few small directors like Jon Favreau and Joss Whedon turned into what Kevin Feige is now controlling. But I just don't think there is the same concise vision. There wasn't enough flexibility in that model for it to really succeed. And I do enjoy the solo DC movies. Like, I've loved the Wonder Woman movies. I didn't hate the second one as much as a lot of people did. 84. I wish I was on that episode, because I wanted to defend that movie. I thought that movie was like a fucking 80s action movie just on steroids. It was like, I could have just imagined Arnold just popping one-liners in that movie, and it would have been
I'm not going to
so
go down
perfect.
I'm not going to go down the deep tangent of why you're so wrong.
Like, my defense of that movie was, it wasn't a movie set in the 80s. It was an 80s movie made today. Like, it was as if you took all the sensibilities of a shitty 80s action movie and adapted that for a 2021 film. And it might not work for you. Yeah. But I mean, they didn't lean into it hard enough for me. But that might just be me.
That's the thing there. I think you nailed it. That's why it didn't work, I think, because they didn't lean in hard enough.
Yeah.
If they'd really leaned in, I could have liked it.
But, you know, talk about tonal shifts in these movies. I mean, you have this and the Justice League tone, whatever that is, the Man of Steel tone. I guess you track it back to the Man of Steel or whatever, with that first Superman movie, establishing the Zack Snyder tone of this universe, I guess. But, yeah, it just kind of goes off the chains. The Aquaman movie's a lot of fun, though. I really like that one. But to have this movie come out, what now is like 4 years ago, and then have to revisit it, even though it comes before some of those movies that came after it, is also kind of a mind fuck.
Well, I've only seen like all these DC movies, like outside of the Nolan verse.
Oh yeah.
I've only seen each one of them once. To me, they have no replay value to them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I
do have a disdain for a lot of DC characters.
Sure.
So that's like a big thing with me.
I'm a Marvel boy. I'm I'll admit it.
I'd love to be a DC guy. It's just that I don't like none of the characters, and it's hard for me to stay interested.
Yeah.
But I always give it a shot.
They were too clean cut, not interesting. The bold colors never did it for me. I liked, a kid in the 90s, the X-Men, the Wolverine comics were just on a shelf. There was no way I was going to buy a Green Lantern comic sitting next to a Wolverine comic. It just wasn't going to happen.
All the DC characters, they're all basically gods. They don't ever have anything to worry about.
Which Zack Snyder likes to lean into hard.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's kind of like you know that they're going to be fine, even though you know that with all movies.
Right. There's no conflict, no drama. That's why they had to kill Superman.
At least you can watch Tony Stark deal with alcoholism, but Superman's never gonna Superman's not shooting up heroin when he's not saving people.
Mm-hmm. They could totally make Batman the broody dark character, but he just seems kind of like over everything. Batfleck doesn't do it for me. I didn't like him in Batman v Superman, and I just don't care for it. I like him as Bruce Wayne. I don't like him as Batman. For me, I don't know. It doesn't work.
He's one of my favorites as Bruce Wayne. Certainly, I mean, he's got the years on him. It looks like he's been beaten up pretty well over the years. He just looks hard, and has, like I say, has the years on him.
He looks good driving a fancy car. Can't blame him for that. But yeah,
I'd like to see more of him as Batman.
Yeah. And, this is a cool Batman we get. We get the tech heavy, like I said, old Batman who's driving around in fucking armored tanks and wearing armored suits. And, that part's pretty cool. So, but yeah, I don't know. There's something just loses for me in the energy of Ben Affleck's performance. But
yes,
that's not Zack Snyder's fault.
No, I mean, I think I liked him better in Batman vs. Superman. I felt like even if he was just the dark, brooding Batman the whole time, at least it was something. This time he's just kind of low energy. Mm-hmm. I don't know, talking about faith all the time. It's very weird.
Yeah.
I wanted to like that movie so bad. I wanted to like that movie so bad. And I did. Like, the first, 3/4 of that movie are solid, really good. And then you get to the end and just... The Martha bomb just left such a bad taste in my mouth.
It's a nightmare.
What I have to say about that movie is, and I say this probably almost any time on our podcast when we're talking about movies as such. It's just like the Godzilla movies. Just show me the monsters fighting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
and
if
when
you're
they
gonna make
fought,
a Batman
it was
versus
awesome.
Superman movie, just show me Batman and Superman fighting. Yeah. That's all I need to see.
Verse them.
And
yes,
the fights in that movie were better than any of the fights in this movie, in my opinion.
But they needed more.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care. I don't care about either one of their home life. Just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, those parts were great. And I don't even need a justification for it. They could just show up and Batman could step on his cape and it'd just be like, oh shit, it's on. You know what I mean? I don't need a justification for it.
I'm with you. Just let them fight.
Yeah, but I don't know. This is just Zack Snyder run amok in this one. The tone is all, I don't know. Just we'll get into it. I mean, if you want to talk about plot, we got a lot to talk about.
Well, we got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just get into it and see if we can get through this thing.
Blake, I've not heard your intro catchphrase yet.
Oh shit! Well, Chase isn't here. But
that's true. Whatever. So we don't have to be official about it.
Let's get this shit show on the road. I forgot the last episode too.
Let's wake up those mother
Chase's.
boxes.
I'm sorry. That was Chase's. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Anyone can say
he's not listening anyway. He gave up on us. He told me he hates me.
Damn.
That's behind the scenes. That's behind the scenes.
I blame John. Behind the scenes, John blasts me on social media all the time. He says, I think the exact thing he said to a fan was that I was dog shit.
Yeah.
That I'm a waste of space. I think he threw necrophiliac in there.
Wow.
He said some terrible things about me.
That was just the last one was just conjecture, but I'm pretty confident.
If you read the paper, you can draw your own conclusions.
Right.
Anyway.
You'll never prove it in court.
Yeah. Enough of our family problems.
Speaking of necrophilia, let's talk about this movie.
Yeah.
Heyo. So, we open where we last saw Henry Cavill's Superman getting fucking stabbed to death by a monster.
Yes.
Yes. We watch in slow motion, which we could call it slow motion in the context of this film, I guess.
It's kind of regular speed, yeah.
Yeah, so much of the film is in slow motion. Maybe we should be calling the normal stuff fast motion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
Anyway, Superman's dying screams echo out into the universe. We transition over to Cyborg, who notices that the MacGuffin in his closet has started acting kind of funny. As the screams continue to echo, we see the same thing happen where two more MacGuffins are kept, one in Atlantis and the other in Themyscira.
Yes.
The box in Themyscira cracks and everyone's super scared and shit. Cut over to Bruce Wayne doing some light horseback riding across the most barren and dangerous looking terrain anywhere in the world.
By the way, sorry.
Batman v Iceland.
Why did he have to ride a horse and hike over, 2,000 miles when he's got a bat plane, right?
The bat plane was in the shop.
What the fuck? It made me so fucking angry that there's no way this guy would just trek by foot.
So I was getting mad. I was getting mad too. I was like, "This is ridiculous." But then once he gets to the village, he's looking for Aquaman, Arthur Curry. Once he gets there, they keep crossing out other transportation options that he had. It was something about like the helicopter couldn't make it in because of the storm or something, and then like the waters, like a boat couldn't get in because the water was frozen or something. Like there was dialogue that cleared that up for me, and I was like,
think the blood in my ears was so loud that I couldn't hear all that stuff.
I just think it's funny. Go ahead.
I just figured it was billionaire's gonna billionaire, and he was like, if I want to do it like this is what I'm gonna do.
Get back to his roots. He looked it up on TripAdvisor. He saw that the equine tours were fantastic, so he had to take it up. But no, I just find it funny that Bruce Wayne is struggling to find the only Pacific Islander in all of Iceland.
Right.
You'd think he'd stick out just a touch.
I mean, luckily, again, once he's in the town, it's pretty clear that he knows the guy he's talking to is the guy he was looking for. So Aquaman's in there translating for Bruce that he's looking for a special man that comes and helps the village.
We're all looking for a special man, Bruce.
Oh, everyone's looking for a special man.
You got Jeremy Irons at home. You can appreciate what you have.
Yeah.
He's the specialist man there is.
Specialist.
Everyone gets super pissed that Bruce is there, getting in their business. Eventually, Bruce and Arthur end up talking, because it's obvious that he's the Aquaman. Bruce explains that he's putting together a team, and there's some aliens or something, and he needs Arthur's help. Arthur says no for reasons that aren't clear, and disappears into the sea. While the thirstiest of the village's women serenade him and sniff on his discarded clothes.
What was that? Jesus Christ!
Well, the clothes. His clothes don't make any sense to me. First of all, he like takes off his clothes every time before he enters the ocean, and yet every time he comes out of the ocean, he just has like a fresh set of clothes waiting for him. Does he just like leave them on the beach, just waiting to come back and grab his old like cable knit sweater that's just been laying there?
I think all them broads are just leaving clothes for him, hoping that he'll stop by their little shack.
You mean Icelandic Haim that's like singing his personal song as he's like walking to and from the beach?
Okay, if you live in... Look, I'm just going to speak for all the ladies in this sorry fishing village. If you just got to deal with Frank the Drunk on a daily at the bar, and then this magnificent son of a bitch comes out the ocean...
That's fair.
Fair point.
I would go watch Eurovision 2021 with him right now.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I can't... Even as a straight man, I can't blame him.
Oh, no, and Zack Snyder will make you fucking realize that, because they're going to show him shake his hair in every which way, in every stage of wetness, in slow motion.
Every time he shows up, it's basically a cologne commercial.
Well, look, truth be told, I could be... If I was having dinner with my wife and he walked up to the table, she'd probably walk away too. I mean...
And you couldn't even be mad.
Yeah, he comes pre-lubricated. I mean, it's not
what
fair.
Am I do?
It's not fair. But the whole music video stuff just, I mean, it like you said, he's a music video. It just devolves into a music video like 5 times in this thing. Like each part has like multiple music videos in it.
I don't know why y'all hate music so much.
I do. I do. I hate it. I don't understand it. I fear it. No, it's the needle drops that kill me. It's just like, it just kind of kills the pacing of the movie and just turns into like fucking a TLC video in the middle of this like scene.
I think Snyder is especially bad at needle drops. I think he thinks he's doing Tarantino shit.
Yeah.
But every time, and I just put up like a review on Army of the Dead on the Instagram that like talks about this too, but every song he chooses is the most like on the nose, like
doesn't literal... he put the Cranberries in that movie?
He put the Cranberries, Zombie.
What
a spark of inspiration. There's zombies in the movie. There's a song called Zombie? No fucking way.
Oh, I love it.
Get it in there.
Y'all don't understand artistic genius.
I was getting real cranky in here because he killed Hallelujah for me in Watchmen. I don't give a fuck who sings Hallelujah again. I don't want to hear that fucking song again in my life, and it's a magnificent song. Never want to hear it. And when he starts playing Nick Cave in Justice League. Like, do not fucking do this to Nick Cave. Stop right now. I just got really pissed off.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have a bit on this. So I don't know if you stayed through the credits of this, but he uses Hallelujah again in the credits.
Nope, I don't think I stuck around.
I mean, you know why he does it, right? It's literally his daughter's favorite song. The daughter who died in the production of this movie. So
you asshole.
You hate dead daughters, is what you're telling me.
Well,
I guess I hate dead daughters.
What a fucking cop-out to make bad decisions. Be like, I'm making this bad decision because my daughter wanted me to. It's like, come on, man.
Anyway, so Lois Lane is getting a cup of coffee and visiting the old big
by the way,
statue.
as we transition to Metropolis, I don't know if you guys caught this. Little street scene, a bundle of Daily Planets gets thrown on the sidewalk by the newsstand with a Second Coming size headline, Security Bank of Manhattan seeks new architect. Was the fucking whole top of the page headline that morning. It was the slowest news day ever.
You know?
Yeah,
Security Bank of Manhattan seeks new architect.
I'll tell you exactly why that's in there, Rob. Because another reason why I fucking hate this movie, because of Zack Snyder's infatuation with Ayn Rand and individualism. That is only in there because he is obsessed with the fucking Fountainhead.
All right,
the
now,
only
now
reason
that makes
that's in
sense.
there.
I still don't like it, but now I get it.
That is something I found out about Zack Snyder
either.
recently, and he claims to not worry about the politics. He's just really into the writing of Ayn Rand.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So hey, but that's a little Easter egg for all those Fountainhead fans out there.
So the song playing over the scene of Lois Lane being real sad and stuff is as Rob mentioned, a Nick Cave song. And I'm really surprised to hear it in this movie because the song is written by Nick Cave about his dead son.
Yeah.
And to use it in this context of like Lois being sad about Superman seems really disrespectful to me.
Fair. Very fair.
I don't know.
The other thing about the music, the use of all these pop songs really draws my attention to the like overall lack of score in this movie. I know there's a score, like there's parts where it really ramps up and people have themes, but there's moments where it's just silent and it feels awkward, and the score is really low in the mix or something like that, where it just feels vacant. Like it feels like there's nothing there, and then all of a sudden you're hit over the head with like a super recognizable pop song that's just playing to fill a montage.
I'll take exception to that. I found the score in this movie unbearable. Anytime Wonder Woman or her clan are on screen, it is hitting you over the head with 5 rubber mallets, and I just couldn't fucking take it after a while. It was nothing subtle about it at all.
I totally agree. I mean, all the characters have their theme, and most of them don't bother me. But the Wonder Woman, her theme from like Batman v Superman and the original Wonder Woman is fine, but they totally fucked it up in this. They put in that like Ridley Scott Gladiator shit where it's like
yeah.
Very choral.
And every time she shows up on screen, that they play that like vocal part, and it's awful. It's so weird, and I don't know what they were thinking when they mixed this thing.
The thing I will say though is, I mean, I love Wonder Woman as a character. I love the Wonder Woman movies, and I thought the Wonder Woman Themyscira stuff was some of the more interesting stuff done in the movie. So I liked the battle we get at the end of this part 1 where they take the mother box, or that's kind of the big thing, the show them your fear. The warriors are legit cool looking and intimidating, and I'm glad we get I think we get Robin Wright back in this, even though she's dead in the continuity, and it's cool to see. I like the Themyscira stuff. It's a shame that all goes to shit immediately.
Is anybody else grossed out by the term mother box?
Yes.
I am now. I hadn't thought of it. Now I am, and now I forever will be.
Especially once you find out what they really are.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's not fun. Especially once they start really referencing the fact that they have a smell. I found myself asking myself, what does a mother box smell like? And then I immediately had to cross out that note. Yeah. Depends on how much cranberry juice you drink. I don't know.
Okay, so back to the film. We cut over to some kind of illegal activity going on. A man with a fedora and a briefcase gets out of an unmarked white van, followed by a bunch of guys strapped up with weapons. The stupid fucking guard who watched this man get out of the same van as the other guys just lets him go past to confront the armed guys, only for the guy with the fedora shoot his brain out from behind.
Yep.
I mean, that guard's definitely going to get fired.
Fair.
They all get inside the building and start killing people randomly. They take a bunch of school kids hostage and make a call telling the authorities not to try anything.
Definitely want to point out that this is Roose Bolton from Game of Thrones doing this robbery too, and that's pretty fucking cool to see him pop up. Love that guy.
Yeah, and
that's where I saw him before. Now I recognize the guy.
He's a good bad guy.
Kieran Hines does the voice of Steppenwolf. He was Mance Raider, excuse me, in Game of Thrones.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. Good.
He's
good.
Can we stick with Steppenwolf for a moment here? Again, we're dealing with our big baddie. I mean, well, Darkseid should be the big baddie, but we're following the exploits of a guy who's out of the graces of the big boss. This guy can't do anything right. He's
You say that, but that's not established until much later.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I remembered it from the first time I watched it. As he comes on screen.
Oh no, he just is raging in the first few moments, just stealing that mother box with no rhyme or reason. Just shows up angry. Don't take that box. Bye.
Yeah. So while all these people are getting killed and shit, Wonder Woman's just up there striking poses on a super subtle statue of Lady Justice.
That's a cool shot. I did like that shot.
But it's a cool shot.
I like Gal Gadot. I like Wonder Woman.
Why is she up there?
She just loves the sound of gunfire. Just
look at silhouette, Rob. That's why.
I guess.
So then we get her her music, her awful music. Chase, every time I say the name Diana, I want you to put a clip from this music in the show, just to piss all the listeners off. You get a feel for what it's like. The fedora guy opens his briefcase, revealing a bomb. It says, "Down with the modern world, back to the dark ages." Real lame kind of motivation for these terrorists.
Real John Lydon character. A real Johnny Rotten type.
Yeah.
What's the matter with the modern world?
I don't know. I wouldn't want to live at any other time.
Yeah, modern times are
shitting
awesome.
my ass out some old timey times.
Let's bring back whale blubber and let's bring back arsenic.
I can take a hot shower anytime I want.
This guy hates that stuff.
That's right. I can get Emperor's chicken. I'm not an emperor. I'm good with it.
This is true. I don't know. Modern times are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this guy just likes pooping in holes in the ground or something.
But he hates fancy ass museum banks or whatever we're in.
Yeah, he shows up with a high tech weapons and a bomb and stuff.
Like, where are they? Are they at a museum or are they at a bank? Because there's kids going on a tour here. So what are they robbing?
Unclear.
Like, they're not even trying to rob. They're just trying to cause chaos.
They're trying to get rid of the modern world.
Yeah, which is art museums.
Down with the modern world.
It'd be better if they would have showed up with spears and loincloths and stuff down with the modern world.
About. That would have been something. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of Luddites showing up with rubber mallets.
Slings and stones.
For that. Yeah, you didn't
Diana
read Wonder
grabs
Woman
a-
versus the Luddites? That was a great run.
Diana grabs a lookout with her lasso and makes him tell her what's going on. And so this guy thinks that they can send all of Europe back to the Dark Ages by blowing up 4 blocks. I don't know.
You got to start somewhere.
You gotta start blowing up something.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Diana gets in there, demonstrating her superhuman speed and strength, deflecting bullets, smearing guys' heads on the wall. She grabs a briefcase and throws that shit into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Fedora tries to kill all the hostages, so it wasn't a total loss, but Diana once again deflects all the bullets.
Well, this is again the part of this movie that you mentioned earlier. Like they're gods; they can't lose. Like the whole point of this scene is like, oh, you Diana or Wonder Woman, you think you're so great, but you can't save everybody. Chaos wins. Mwaha, like making a big like Joker point to Batman or something like that. And then he starts trying to like blammo the fucking hostages with like a machine gun, and she just like Zumbas all the way through, just using her magic gauntlets to stop every bullet. It makes no sense, first of all, like how she can move. She's moving as fast as the Flash. Easily, to be able to do that.
Issue with the end of the scene when she blows this guy out of the building, including several stories worth of concrete that go flying, hitting all the. She could have wiped out all the police, everybody down on the ground.
I mean, but yeah, back to the point though. Like, go ahead, John.
Well, I was just gonna go. Yeah, if she wanted to, she could just knock this dude out of commish before he got the new clip in there. But just decides no one's blowing up 4 city blocks but her.
Yes. Yeah. Doesn't stop the explosion.
Just clangs her gauntlets together, blowing the entire face of the building off just to get this one guy.
Mm-hmm. She saw it when it was made. She's over it. But, yeah.
So she's checking on all the hostages, and one little girl's... She's like, can I be like you when I grow up? She's like, you can be anything you want to be, except like me. That's literally the one thing you can't do.
Yes. I wish you would have just said no. No, you can't.
Yes.
And that would have been awesome.
Your chances aren't good, kid.
Yeah.
Work on your smile.
So back with the Amazons. What's the queen's name? Is it Hippolyta?
Great question.
We'll call her the queen.
We'll call her
Connie Nielsen.
Queen who gives a shit.
Queen woman.
She shows up to see what's going on with the box. All the Amazons have their bows aimed at this thing in case
what's with the box?
Try anything stupid.
Yeah.
All their dialogue sucks. Like every single line of dialogue is like meant to be a big line or a cliche. It's like evil does not sleep.
Yeah, it's like Anthony Hopkins in those like Thor movies. Like it just doesn't carry the same kind of gravitas though. Like
So my question right away was, they've had this box for thousands of years. Does it need 4 or 5 dozen Amazons surrounding it?
It has
24/7.
You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's worked to this point. They weren't expecting one guy to come through a teleport and just steal it.
I wanted them to really hammer down on the box terminology and then be like, look, we know boxes, and something's up with this one.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Joss Whedon theatrical cut...
Something doesn't smell right about this box.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the theatrical cut, doesn't Steppenwolf refer to them just as mother sometimes?
I don't know.
I do not remember.
Like, I don't know.
I didn't see it.
I heard that in a YouTube video. I could be wrong. I don't know. I have not seen the theatrical cut, so I am not an expert. But
me either.
The amount of times they say mother box doesn't. It doesn't. It's not good.
I just wish they would have hammered down on that. Like that would have made me happy. Who's been touching the box? Which one?
I can smell you on it.
Whose? I mean, I think to answer your question, Rob, I think there was a crack showed up in the box and it started glowing and bouncing around.
Yeah,
and stuff.
it did.
So a gash even. So I think they probably just upped the security on the box once that happened.
All right, I just was under the impression that they were already there, but
that's right.
That's what I thought too.
The death heard around the world put a little sliver of a gash inside of this mother box, and now everybody can smell it.
Stinking up the place. So Steppenwolf just portals down out of nowhere. In my opinion, looking pretty awesome. I think it looks cool.
Again, I haven't seen the theatrical clip, but I've seen images from it, and yes, undeniably, he looks better. He still looks as generic as could possibly be, but still thing. It's shiny. I like it.
I hate to bring up The Hobbit again, but to me, he looked like it looked like they face swapped Azog from The Hobbit, the White Orc. It looks like his face.
Mm-hmm. I can see some of that.
Body.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of see it.
In this cut, you don't really get to see the raw face. It's still covered in this like living metal. The living metal is probably one of the cooler effects achieved in this whole thing, and it's used in a lot of cool ways. There's like in the Themyscira fight, the Amazons like launch a bunch of arrows in him, and they get stuck and like lodged in the armor, and then he like flexes, and the armor moves, and it like snaps all the arrows off, and they just like go flying, which is cool. That's
cool stuff.
Inarguably. The problem is all the cool stuff isn't slowed down. It's not in slow-mo, and you don't get to see it enough. Like there's moments where like he's like channeling like power through his axe or whatever, and it like slams through somebody's skull, and like this blue energy like goes through their skull, and you don't get to see it because it's done at like full speed. But you know, then you see somebody do like a fucking, you know, run around the corner, and it's in slow motion for no reason.
Yeah.
I think Steppenwolf is kind of cute. Like he's like a little pet animal. His face, like I don't know,
he's got those little beady eyes. Yeah, I don't know.
And his little mouth. I don't know.
I totally know. He's got that like cute little beady eyes. He looks like a pug.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so the queens, they start fighting. He's whipping everyone's ass. The queen's doing a bunch of unnecessary spin jumps and stuff. She grabs the mother box, and they decide to seal the whole place up with Steppenwolf inside. A bunch of buff-ass ladies smash through giant beams with hammers to bring down the stone door. And
that was their plan B.
Slides under it. What's that?
The worst way to close a door, by the way.
It's not ideal.
It's like the worst fire escape plan you could ever have. It's like, remember, kids, what do we do in case of emergency? We tear down the house behind us.
Yeah.
Take a sledgehammer, knock out a few keystones, and boogie.
The queen slides Seagal style under the door.
That was pretty good.
There's probably like one too many shots of her sliding in that part.
We expect her to like reach back and grab her hat.
Yes. So she gets out, and the whole place just drops into the ocean. Unfortunately for the Amazons, Steppenwolf absolutely doesn't give a fuck and leaps right back out and goes to work on the Amazonians. He's chopping necks, shoulder checking horses. He just picks up a horse and throws it.
Can Steppenwolf fly, or does he just like Hulk jump?
I think he
Hulk jumps, yeah.
Because he like Hulk jumps out of the water and then knows exactly where he's gonna land, and like lands right on top of him. Like, how did he prejudge that? It felt like he was like flying in the air and just like, poof. That's fair enough.
He's done it before.
Mm-hmm. He's working off a debt, so he's feeling that pressure.
So ultimately, after a bunch of fighting, he gets the box, warps away, and the queen says they need to call for Gondor's aid. That one's for you. Part 2.
Oh, God. Jesus.
Steppenwolf beams down into Chernobyl, I guess.
Yes, that's what it feels like.
I feel like that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, they name it later, but who cares?
They didn't want to besmirch the good name of Chernobyl, so I think they had to change it.
Yeah, the good people of Chernobyl would sue, probably.
There was a petition.
Yeah, I don't know when he decided to go there, because he's real jazzed that the area is, quote, toxic, suggesting it's his first time there.
It suits his needs.
I don't know. Anyway, Bruce and Alfred are trying to track down Barry Allen, the Flash.
who they're just aware
Kryptonian,
of.
Yeah, they have him on.
They have a flash folder on his
camera.
Windows 95 desktop.
That's right. At the old Kryptonian shipwreck, Star Labs has set up a research base, and Cyborg's dad, Silas, works there. After everyone leaves, the poor janitor gets kidnapped, where a parademon's looking for one of the mother boxes.
I gotta say, I hate this parademon design. I don't know if it's the same as the one from the theatrical release, but I hate how like they're robots. Like they're like metal, and I guess they're going with the whole organic metal thing that is the same with like Steppenwolf's armor and the mother boxes. But I don't know, parademon. You say parademon, it should be like fucking gross and organic and like, I don't know, goopy or something. But these are like just like little robot cyborg things.
Gross, organic, and whatnot, like a mother box.
It's fair. I don't know. They don't give me enough organic to that mother box doesn't look like it even has a scent to it, let alone an odor. Come on. Like
I do find it kind of weird that it suggests back on Apocalypse there's some factory devoted to just making like goggles for all the parademons.
Yes. Yeah, there's this
something, I don't know, it's weird.
They make goggles and steampunk just I think they make top hats, monocles.
Yeah. For the fancy ones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So back in Themyscira, the queen shoots a flaming arrow over to the shrine of the Amazons over in like Jersey City or something.
The arrow of Athena? One of those gods?
Why not?
One of those gods? I don't know. They like to pull out
Cupid's
gods
arrow.
when they feel like it.
Yeah, Cupid's arrow.
Yeah, Cupid.
Yes, they shoot Cupid's arrow to send the message.
Diana hears about, so it's like sets the whole shrine on fire, and Diana hears about the fire on the news. This is all so like convoluted. And then in one of the sillier scenes of the movie,
they don't have
Diana
Twitter in this universe.
The shrine, yeah, she goes to the shrine, despite it being on the news and there being a police presence and everything. She just like walks right up and takes the arrow, and goes all Indiana Jones and goes like into a cavern underneath the shrine, I guess, and puts it in an indentation, and then there's a door, and then there's a room full of paintings on the wall that explain the entire backstory of everything.
It's like a whole Diana Prince Tomb Raider scene. Like
I saw on the internet, people were complaining that she did all this in high heels.
Ooh.
And even I had to defend that, because we just watched her defy the laws of gravity by blocking bullets and shit. But you gonna complain that she can do this shit in heels?
That's fair. I'm gonna say that her calf muscles are probably up to it.
Well, yes. I mean, she's Amazonian.
Yeah. She's got that balance.
Don't they realize that her entire, like her boots and her regular costume are wedges? I mean, they're essentially high heels. It's like the same shit.
In a land full of broads, you learn how to work with how to do shit in high heels.
Yeah.
It was an entire subplot in Wonder Woman 84.
That's right. Did we lose Rob, by the way?
Walk in high
he's
heels.
Coming back. I don't think he could get back in, so I invited him again.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to break up our little party here. No problem. Yeah. But anyway, we'll keep going.
But her wedge her wedge boots are ludicrous, though. They are really insane.
Yes. They do that to pretty much every superheroine in any of these movies. Like Black Widow's got them.
Like, I'm pretty sure Gal Gadot is like 6 foot. Like she's a model. She's tall. So like, do we need to? I don't know. But
it's not necessary.
No,
for sure. So then we get another Nick Cave track. I don't know if Snyder just found out about Nick Cave or something.
Yeah, he's big into it. He's like, have you guys heard about the Bad Seeds?
It's like, dang.
They rock.
I got really into them when Skeleton Key came out.
I don't know who Nick Cave is.
That was like one album ago, by the way.
I have no clue who that is.
He's like sadder Leonard Cohen.
Once again,
I don't honestly know who to compare him to.
He's like Tom Waits without rhythm.
Okay, I know who Tom Waits is.
No, Nick Cave's great. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds are a fucking great band, but it's like very bassy, I'm singing and kind of a thing. Like it's very like it's good, but it's morbid.
Okay.
It can be, yeah, for sure. I love Nick Cave. He's one of my faves. But anyway, so we get the Cologne commercial with Aquaman.
Yes.
He goes down to see some old Atlantean king statue, and Willem Dafoe shows up to just dump some setup for the Aquaman movie on us.
Well, we get like this Atlantean cone of silence where they like bubble out the ocean. They're like ocean breathers. Why are they even doing that? Like, I don't.
Yeah, and they didn't do that in the Aquaman movie.
They only did it. I tell you, the only reason they did it is so they didn't have to pay for the CGI hair.
Could be.
It's probably true.
Only reason, because the CGI hair is fucking ridiculous every time they do it.
But then they have to pay for this like water simulation like bubble thing.
It's probably cheaper though.
Yeah, at least that's just one effect you just like hit repeat on. This one, yeah, the hair stuff is wild. And we'll talk about hair as soon as fucking Amber Heard shows up, because her hair makes no sense, especially if you've watched the Aquaman movie. They just change everything about her character. Wholesale. Color difference, accent difference, character personality difference. Like everything's different about her. But at least she didn't poop the bed.
Damn it. You beat me to it.
I knew it was coming.
Defoe also warns them that the mother box they guard is in danger. So back with Steppenwolf, somebody finally takes his call back on Apocalypse, and it's revealed at this point that he fucked up and is trying to get back in Darkseid's good graces.
Yeah. Where's that? I mean, we got a 4-hour movie. We don't get any information setting up who the fuck Steppenwolf is.
Nope.
What the hell?
They don't tell us what he did, or I mean, I guess it doesn't ultimately matter, but
it doesn't. But it still bothers me. Like, I don't know.
No,
especially if you're going to compare this movie to the Avengers, like the first Avengers movie, where Loki is the one who's leading this alien invasion. Like, everybody knows who the fuck Loki is. Everybody knows what the motivation for Loki is in that movie. And
yeah, but they still took the time to explain it for the people who don't.
Yes. And exactly.
If you're not going to explain Steppenwolf, which to like the casual comic book person or less, nobody knows who the fuck Steppenwolf is.
No. I mean, other than Magic Carpet Ride.
That's what I'm about to say. Everybody thinks it's like like the band. Like, nobody knows.
Rock and roll. But it makes no goddamn sense what his motivation is. But yeah, he has these like FaceTime conversations with Desaad, who is, I guess, Darkseid's other right-hand man, because
some other emissary.
The chain of command is really unclear. I think what it comes down to is WB wouldn't let them use Darkseid this early, because they're like, well, if we're going to build out a universe, we can't just have Thanos be the first bad guy, and they should have just let Darkseid be the bad guy.
So Bruce is back in the old Batcave working on his X-Jet or Quinjet or Justice Jet, whatever this is. And Diana shows up. She explains everything that she found out from the paintings.
There's so much goddamn exposition in this movie. Oh my god.
Absolutely enormous.
And yet they don't explain, like we just said with fucking Steppenwolf, like they give so much exposition for certain things and then completely ignore other things. And I mean, I get it. This is a reshoot movie. He's trying to recreate something that he didn't get to finish, but man, there's just glaring holes still. And that's crazy to say about a 4-hour movie. What's that?
Oh. I got it. The person who matters got the box joke. It's okay.
We'll get back to it.
Yeah, this, I mean, if I was making cuts, this would be like the first thing to go. You're like, yo, he tried to come here a long time ago. We fucking whooped his ass. And now he's back. Like, you don't need a big 20-minute action scene or whatever to explain everything.
No.
But, She explains how the mother boxes need to synchronize and join together in something called the Unity, which will make Earth into a copy of Apocalypse, and
it's a great Queen Latifah album too.
Slave, yes.
Well, yes. A big missed opportunity to say that the boxes need to scissor together.
I don't think you can three-way scissor.
Sir.
That's. I was about to mention. I'm sure Rob's got a library full of three-way scissors.
That's more of a chain gang. You gotta.
And all about how Darkseid came to Earth a long time ago, and the old gods, men, Atlanteans, Amazons, and the Lanterns all worked together to drive him off.
And now,
they frankly made it look pretty easy and made Darkseid look like a bitch. When Darkseid fled, he just left the boxes behind.
Also, a scene completely executed in CGI. Not a single human being in that scene.
Who needs them?
Yeah.
It's the future.
They getting away anyway.
I'm pretty sure Zack Snyder would agree with you.
Beyond the need for actors.
Yeah. They like paste the face of the guy who plays Ares from the Wonder Woman movies onto like a CGI character, and it's very unsettling.
Maybe that's what the fedora guy was like, down with the modern world. Like maybe that's what it was about.
Well, if you've seen the Wonder Woman movie, Ares could be anybody, so maybe that was Ares too. Who knows?
Yeah. I wanted to know what was going on with the guy that played Zeus.
That was great. He was awesome.
Was he wearing like a muscle suit?
He had like a fucking fur vest on. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty wild.
Yeah, that was cool. We get to see like a weird Green Lantern, who's like a little reptile guy, who I think is like an Easter egg to like one of the early Earth sector Green Lanterns, who was like a lizard guy and looks very silly. I forget his name, but looks insane if you Google him.
It was very cool to see them. They didn't refer to them as lanterns by name. They called them like guardians of something.
Well, no, but later they say that Steppenwolf is having one of his FaceTimes with Desaad, and they're like, Earth is prime for an invasion right now. There's no lanterns or Kryptonians to protect it. And it's like, how big of a problem, universally are Kryptonians? That seems like
problem.
That seems like a very Earth-specific problem, considering we're the only Earth sun that supercharges them into a superhero. Like, they're just normal dudes on Krypton.
Well, maybe Kryptonians are just really fucking annoying.
Maybe, yeah, that could be it. Yeah, they're like the Elon Musks of whatever planet they end up on. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm going to solve all your problems.
Please shut Jor-El up.
Yeah.
This red sun is doing nothing for him, but he just won't shut the fuck up.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, they make Kryptonians sound like they're this big threat across the galaxy, and it's like, I don't think that's true, but okay.
Part 3.
Oh, jeez.
Over in Central City, Barry Allen, the Flash, is late for a job interview at a pet store. He bumps into a girl on the way out, and they share a moment. I believe this is Iris West, his like love interest.
But they don't explain that at all, and it's super fucking creepy.
Yeah, the only reason I know is because I checked IMDb.
Yeah.
The character's playing that character.
The plot, the scene plays out where Barry, who should have been introduced way earlier in the movie, in my opinion, to have him come out like 2/3 into the movie, or after the first like 2 acts of the movie, is crazy to me. Because yeah, he's antisocial like to a fault. It's creepy how he's like bubbling and babbling over himself to try and get a job at a pet store. That's what he's doing. But I mean, I just hated this scene because, well, first of all, he's the comic relief, basically. That Barry Allen is the comic relief of the Justice League, if you will, because he's the relatable human character thrust into these great powers, whatever. And it would have been great if he was early on in this, kind of the inspiration for creating the Justice League, instead of Batfleck. If he was the one that had to get all the heroes together, it would give you something to rally for as an audience member, instead of Batman and Wonder Woman, these two like just over it superheroes being like, ugh, I guess we got to figure something out.
Yeah.
Like,
and it probably would have went a lot faster if the
I would
Flash
hope.
was handling things.
I would hope. But then this whole scene plays out where the car crash happens and he speeds out of the place, And first of all, rude. Like, he's got the Speed Force and he chooses to break through the glass window. Like, you could open the door, Barry. Like, nothing is stopping him from Nothing is stopping him from opening the door.
He noticed what was happening, I feel like, with enough time to have stopped the entire incident from occurring.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, that's my problem with The Flash in any kind of depiction in a movie or TV. And the Flash TV show kind of has this problem, is they have to constantly up power and depower him to make it have sense for the plot, because he could solve any problem in a literally a fucking snap of the fingers.
Yeah,
but
God, he's too much of a god.
He's too much of a god. The Speed Force is too powerful.
And if you really want to break things down, he's the Flash. He doesn't have to crash through anything.
No.
He can vibrate the molecules in his body and phase through it.
That would have been so much more interesting. Why did he smash through the glass? Just because Zack Snyder wanted to make it look like a cool watery splash effect. But it's
also,
this whole thing is him jacking himself off.
Why is he working at a pet store?
Yes,
he could be like a pizza delivery guy and killing it.
Good point. Well, he also mentions he's at school. He's a criminal justice major, so he's obviously working to being the CSI that Barry Allen becomes.
Right.
But yeah, to go work at a pet store, that makes no sense.
So the girl gets into her car, heads toward the intersection. We have a very silly setup of a truck driver barreling down a street in the middle of downtown,
I hate
going
it
nuts
so much.
on a hamburger.
I hate it so much.
He drops it on the floor, and do you think he'll just leave it there because the floor of his truck is filthy? Fuck you. That thing costs $4. So the truck crashes into a hot dog cart and into Iris's car. Barry springs into action.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, with all the nerdery about what he can and can't do and whatnot, I still think it's kind of a cool scene.
Well, he gets to see that sesame seed fall in crystal clarity, just
right. Jesus Christ!
I could have probably done without the sesame seed.
people waxed poetic about that, Zack Snyder's vision when you see the beauty of the hot dogs buns being thrown in the air. It's what the fuck are you talking about? But then it's all topped off by the fact that, he creeps out on this woman. I mean, yes, we know as comic fans that this is Iris West, his adopted sister, who he crushes on his entire life. And so he takes these brief moments in the Speed Force to just brush his fingers through her hair.
I forgot that she was his adopted sister.
Oh yeah, they brother and sister. This is pseudo incest bullshit. They were ahead of the trend.
Wouldn't they know who each other were at this point?
She's not in the Speed Force, so she doesn't get to see him. So he's like a peeping Tom in these moments.
Okay. Anyway, he saves her ass and locks down that job at the pet store.
Nothing. How does that interview end? In the blink of an eye, that woman has him in front of her eyes. He disappears. The glass smashes in her window, and there's a car wreck in front of her building. Yeah, and that guy is never to be seen or heard from again. Or it just shows back up. Calm. Yeah, no,
he's a hot dog, keeping him calm.
Yeah, his pocket hot dog that he had on him.
Y'all don't keep pocket hot dogs?
A little pocket dog?
Yeah, I will from now on.
Yeah, I don't talk about it, but yeah, I do.
It's a smart move.
Oh, it's great. I also, I really didn't like the animation of Barry Allen running.
Why did he run like that?
I don't understand. His wrist, and listen, this is not a slur.
Oh,
he
God.
is so limp-wristed in this.
It's he's trying to whip his fingers out while he's running. I don't get it.
It's so nuts.
Unnatural.
He's snapping every bone in his hand every time he moves it up and down. It's fucking wild. It makes no sense.
I agree.
And they commit to it.
It's probably something he and Ezra Miller and Zack Snyder developed together or something.
Also, he runs out of
I hope
shoes.
They're very proud.
Yeah,
he does blast out of his shoes, which I kind of loved.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I mean, if, the friction is a real problem for the Flash. So, you know, especially, I mean, this is supposed to be early on in the, we don't get an origin story of any kind, but we're supposed to assume that this is like early on in him figuring out his powers. Like, he's not the Flash per se, I guess, at this point. So I guess
but he's got a full decked out uniform.
I know. Where the fuck did he get that from?
I don't know where he got that. He made it. He's a scientist boy.
I mean, their choice to do this movie before they had introduced all these characters is pretty fucking wild.
It was a mistake.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was a mistake.
They didn't have the patience.
But, I don't know. I think, like that said, that decision having been made already, I think they did the best they could in this movie of introducing like a ton of new characters.
But did they have to? Was the question I kept asking myself.
No.
I
mean, do we have to do anything?
That's fair. They just had $30 million lying around. They were like, why not?
Throw some of this shit Zack Snyder's way.
Ugh. But yeah. I did
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I did like, we get, of course, with another part of this movie, we get another Steppenwolf attack for another mother box. And I do like the living armor stuff in Atlantis because he goes and attacks one of the Atlantean mother boxes. And that's the first time we get to see the like spider brain scanner that he uses to get intel out of people, which I don't think is in the Joss Whedon cut. So
I don't think so either.
I do appreciate that at least there's something that he's using to get information to guide him and not just showing up places willy-nilly. And I did hear somebody say that they thought that this was an Easter egg for Starro, which I wish it was just Starro and not just a robot. Like, if this guy was partnering with a fucking sentient starfish from outer space that could read people's minds, I'm in for that.
Yo. I don't know nothing about Starro.
I don't know nothing about Starro.
He's one of the first Justice League villains. I think he's like the villain in Justice League 1 or something like that.
I think he was the very first Justice League villain. He's a giant starfish.
Yep.
What a stupid villain.
Yeah,
right.
Fantastic. He's actually going to be the villain, I believe, in the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie coming out this summer. So very voiced by Taika Waititi, I believe. So look out for that. Wow. But yeah, this is an interesting. I liked this part of Steppenwolf's character, at least him getting the intel. It was the only thing that really gave him a motive to move forward.
Well, by the way, as long as we're talking about Atlantis, and I don't remember. I watched the Aquaman movie, and I wasn't crazy about it, but I don't remember in this movie the denizens of the deep, our underwater dwellers, form air bubbles to talk.
Yeah.
And
so they're air breathers.
Right. Like they can't talk without an air bubble? I've just found that really distracting.
Yeah, I mean, if we hadn't seen... So, like, the original Justice League came out, or the theatrical came
2017?
out before Aquaman, so we wouldn't even be talking about this. I mean...
That's the problem. Yeah, there's a lot of continuity issues where they, introduce these characters in a movie, then they all got individual movies afterwards where they changed everything.
I guess that's the thing that they really stuck to with DC is the continuity problems.
Yeah.
I mean, DC itself
that's the one continuity that continues is there's continuity problems throughout all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I know all comic books have continuity problems, but DC's really kind of stand out.
Yeah, this is not an easy task. I mean, Marvel has kind of broken the paradigm. They've created something that shouldn't be recreatable. Like they've created like auteurs that work together to create something bigger, and that's not something that has really ever existed. So to expect it to just be recreated by Warner Brothers and DC is kind of unrealistic. And I think it could have succeeded if I think they could have had one person guide this whole vision. I just don't think it should have been Zack Snyder.
To quote Chase, since he's not here, quit trying to make universes.
Yeah, I think that's really the problem.
Marvel did it for some reason, and it worked, but it's not going to happen for anybody else. Quit doing it.
If they would have just made Justice League movies without doing the solo movies, maybe they could have made that work. But
maybe
having having the different people change the characters for their needs for their movies kind of just ruins it for the continuity of the whole thing.
Yeah,
they don't want to work together. I guess
I don't approach these DC movies as if they're a continuous thing, as if they're like a serialized.
Well, they make it difficult with the timelines of everything.
100%, but I just I don't know. I try to just come to these movies on their own terms.
Yeah, and they're enjoyable for sure in that way.
Why I like this one better than others. Like I don't particularly care that Barry Allen is like a different kind of Barry Allen than comic book Barry Allen. But
did not care for this Barry Allen, and yet I am super excited for the Flash movie for no good reason, other than Michael Keaton, and the same reason everybody else is excited for it, but not because of what I experienced in this movie. That's for sure. Yeah,
well, I mean, I also think that the stuff Flash does in this movie is some of the cooler stuff in the movie.
That's true. And I know that a lot of that was kind of reworked for this cut to make it I guess, make more sense or have more weight to it. Because he is the MacGuffin of the movie. He's the one that is able to him and Cyborg are the only two that really matter at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Cyborg, he's back in his apartment, brooding about how his asshole dad saved his life and made him a superhero.
Yeah, made him a god, that dick.
We get the flashback of his origin story where he's a genius football star, and he and his mom get T-boned in a car on the way home from a game his dad never showed up to.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
His mom died, but his father won't allow him to die, and use the mother box to put it back together. I don't really understand why it happened that way, but sure.
I'm sure he probably could have come up with something a little less complex than this, but he's like, if I'm going to do it, might as well go full God mode. Just create a benevolent cyber fucking lord for the world.
His dad tries to convince him that he's still got a life to live and an important place in the world and blah, blah, blah. I do like this part where he goes into the internet or whatever God helps this woman out, gives her some money.
It turns into the lawnmower man. It's fucking ridiculous. He goes into this virtual world. That's not how the internet works, Zack Snyder.
How do you know? You ever been inside the internet?
I have not. You know. I have not merged on a bio-cybernetic level with the internet. No, I have not interfaced in that regard. I can't imagine.
Funny.
I can't imagine that if you look at an ATM, it just turns into a stack of dollar bills that you can then make larger, and that person then makes more money.
You never know.
Inside the internet, he goes into a Grecian style building with columns and stuff, and inside it's just a picture of everybody and the amount of money they have above it.
It's every 90s rendition of going inside the internet where it's oh my God, there's files. Oh my God, let me open this giant filing cabinet where it's filled with files inside of it. It's so funny.
What are you going to do? How are you going to visualize this
How else are you going to spend $30 million? I
don't know. Futurama does a pretty good job of visualizing going into the internet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good one. They don't go full Tron with this, though.
Bank, though.
No. This isn't full Tron. This is just he's wearing a VR headset, and he's just I don't know. There's a part where he's representing the Wall Street, the fucking markets on Wall Street, and it's literally a bull and a fucking
bull and a bear,
right,
and a bull and a bear fighting. And it's really in a world of ones and zeros. That's how you decide to interpret Wall Street.
Hell yeah.
But sure, okay.
That's exactly how Zack Snyder would interpret.
That's how Wall Street is. That's fair.
I mean,
with one person being able to control everything.
We're just lucky there wasn't a city there for them to destroy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Barry goes to see his dad in prison. His dad played by Billy Crudup.
Oh, I love Billy Crudup.
Yeah.
He does not get much to do in this movie.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, no, he's doing a favor for Zach in this one, I think. Yeah, for sure. Didn't have to show his dong.
But he would have.
He would have. Well, you don't see him from the waist up, or waist down, so you don't know.
he tells his son to give up his pursuit of a criminal justice degree, wasting his life on that shit. So, okay, kind of weird, but sure.
Yeah.
After getting his dreams shit on by his dad, Barry goes back to his base. I don't know what this place is.
Where the fuck does he get this fucking cyber tech base?
With like 1,000 monitors. And...
with the fucking hacking rig from Swordfish in it. It's like, is Halle Berry going to be behind him with a Heineken? I'm really confused by this lair.
It's very weird. I don't know if is that where he lives? Whatever. Bruce Wayne is waiting in there for him. Of course, Bruce knows that Barry can do some shit, but Barry's not giving up the goods. Mm-hmm. So Bruce flings a batarang at him. He's forced to use his powers to dodge it, realizes who he's talking to, and joins up without hesitation.
Yeah, he needs friends.
He needs friends.
That's all the motivation
and
you need.
Pizza. Diana's back at the Bat computer searching for Victor, but he comes through with a message for her first and a place to meet up. We get another Mercedes commercial real quick when she pulls up.
Yeah.
This whole movie is sponsored by Mercedes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was at least 5 of the 30 million.
Victor and Diana meet. Doesn't go well. Victor's not interested. I mean, fuck the world from him.
Yeah, so why
talk about Dr. Manhattan. He's gone full Dr. Manhattan at this point. Like, he's just like, fuck the world. I'm going to go make fucking sandcastles. Bye.
Why did he give her these coordinates to come meet me at midnight or whatever it was? Just
Great
to say,
question.
Fuck the world.
I have
drama?
No answer for you there.
Yeah,
we had 4 hours to fill.
And I'm like, okay, I get it. Being a robot sucks. Like, RoboCop didn't like it either. But you'd be dead otherwise, and you can fly now. So, quit bitching, you, like, teenage punk lyric.
But at least then they had good, like, commercials.
Not to mention, like, okay, I don't know why he's so, like, upset about being a cyborg.
Blake, no dick.
I don't... Look, I wouldn't be missing much anyway. It's like a bad fishing accident down there.
Not interfacing with nothing.
No, fuck that. Anyway, you're a robot. Like, who wouldn't want to be a robot?
I mean,
robot.
And then he's already shown he can give himself tons of money. Yep. So, like, go live your life, kid.
Oh, he is.
He can do anything.
He is basically a god on Earth. Yeah, I mean, he can do whatever he wants.
And go waste it. Like, dude, just go on a beach in Tahiti and, like, drink drinks with little umbrellas.
I think the problem is there's still like an AI on board, so he doesn't have like full control over his powers, because sometimes it'll just go into like red alert mode.
With his powers, turn it off.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully he'll figure that out.
Well done.
Yeah.
That does only come up one time.
Right.
I felt like they should have dealt with that.
I just don't see the downside of being an all-powerful cyborg. I don't see the problem.
When the alternative is death, I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. And then he looks cool. Like, he doesn't look like a Roomba or anything. He looks awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
He's
get
still
it.
got half a face and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go do what you want. You want that car from, like, you want that Mercedes? Go take it. Who's going to stop you?
I imagine he'd be really good at catfishing.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
So he flies off and goes and buries the mother box that they have in their closet.
Right.
He buries that in his own grave.
Well, okay, so that was something that drove me wild from that flashback from earlier. Was they established that like Earth saved the mother boxes, centuries ago from the first Darkseid invasion, and they divided them up between the Atlanteans, who fed one to a squid. The Amazonians, who or the Greeks, I don't know who. I guess it ended up with the Amazonians at Themyscira, but he just gave it to the Greeks, and they hid it in their pyramid or whatever. And then the Earthlings, who got the third mother box, who were just represented by like some Viking dudes, buried it in like 3 inches of dirt and called it a day.
Yeah. And Victor does the same thing.
Yep. They're like, good enough.
It's like sticking out of the
work
ground.
for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Hard day of work. Let's go get some beers.
Yeah. Whew. man, I must have dug 6 inches. Whooped.
They'll never find it. You can't smell under 6 inches.
No.
Back at the lab, Silas learns he can use an electron laser to heat stuff into the hottest thing on the Earth. So he just tucks that in his back pocket for later.
That might come in handy.
Goes home, but boom, parademon up in his spot, takes him. The box in Atlantis wakes up, so Steppenwolf shows up to take that, massacres a few guards, beats up on Mira, and
Mira does
Aquaman
some like blood bending
up.
though. It's like brutal, that fight, because
yeah,
Mira, like,
that was cool.
that was one of the coolest things they've let her do. Amber Heard, just like she's like twirls her fingers and the blood starts like coming out of Steppenwolf and like swirling in the water. And it's
like
a pretty cool effect. It's fucking brutal. That. It looked like it hurt a lot. So that was pretty cool. It didn't last long, but effective. Yeah. But yeah, no, of course, Aquaman has to come and save the day in his fucking Levi's.
Yes.
You look good.
I don't know why he won't wear like cool Atlantean armor. He's like, nah.
Because he hates Atlantis. He makes that very
clear.
Hate
Atlantis. It's dumb.
Yeah. You guys don't even have cable. Dad has cable.
He tries to fight Steppenwolf, but he gets the box anyway and warps away. And then
yeah.
Cyborg gets home and finds his dad's missing. And that's moving on to part 4.
How many parts are there? Like 17?
Oh, Jesus. Too many.
There's 7. Well, 6 and then an epilogue.
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, wait. Well, somehow in my notes I missed where part 5 is. But anyway.
Oh, well,
we'll
slip on the 6. Who cares?
We'll get
there. Commissioner Gordon?
Sure. All this and Commissioner Gordon?
Commissioner Gordon's here now? All these reports.
You know what this movie needed? Another character. Bat him in. J.K. Simmons, no less.
Yeah. He's a good Commissioner Gordon. I like it. I like that.
With nothing to do, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, nothing to do. What's Commissioner Gordon usually do?
That's true.
Just like
That's true.
Commission?
Look over his shoulder.
Yeah, he's just in there commissioning. Sad about his wife.
Mission.
Or whatever. It's always sad about his wife.
Work on getting rid of that accent.
So, he wants to ask Batman why everyone thinks he's kidnapping people. Finally get a suited up Batman 2 hours into this bad boy.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
The whole crew shows up to explain to the commissioner what's going on. They use like the parademon sightings to triangulate where the nest of them is. And it's down in some tunnels under Gotham Harbor. So...
Yeah, Bane style. He's built like a lair underneath Gotham somehow with nobody noticing.
Yeah. They get down there, find Steppenwolf doing the Mind Spider to everybody, jump into action. Steppenwolf calls dibs on Diana, but she doesn't belong to anyone. I mean, that's not really what he meant, but go off, Queen.
Yeah. Zack Snyder giving us women's empowerment. Thanks, Zack.
Batman fights like one parademon while Cyborg and Flash try to get everyone to safety.
Yeah, Batman really feels kind of undermatched in outmatched.
Can't do anything. He gets into this like unwieldy looking vehicle.
Oh, that thing is ridiculous. It's a crab tank. It's fucking wild. It's so
like
stupid.
This 4-legged tank that somehow like crawls up walls by just poking holes in it.
If they went straight there, which I assume they did from Commissioner Gordon's rooftop, how did that fucking bat crawler get down there? How did they know to have that thing down in the sewers right there?
I mean, he's the master planner. You know, he knew what to do.
Yes.
I mean, Alfred maybe sent it in there.
Yeah, Alfred. Yeah, 100%.
It was Alfred. Boom. Alfred did it. Anytime you don't know how Batman did something, Alfred did it.
Alfred.
He starts machine gunning parademons. Barry does a bunch of cool stuff, saving hostages from the falling debris and helping Diana get her sword back. And Steppenwolf just beats up the Nightcrawler. Punches it a bunch.
Barry seems like so powerful in this moment that he feels like he could kind of solve this conflict real quick. And yet...
Can he, like, pick up people and take them to other... Wouldn't that just, like...
That's always my question with the Flash. That's always my question with the Flash, is what would happen? It wouldn't... He does it all the time. He, like, holds somebody's hand, and then the next moment, they're, like, where he's going. But, yeah, the friction would just peel the skin off of their bones.
You know, or he could just do, like, all he's got to do is run around the planet a few times.
Well, that's also that. Yes.
Then just punch Steppenwolf and he'll just be red mist.
Yeah. Give him a supersonic punch. Exactly.
Yeah.
That would have been fun to see.
You got to have level ground for that, I guess. And we're slightly below
Zack
ground.
Snyder would have done that in slow motion, and 3 hours later,
forever.
he would have come around the Earth the second time to deliver that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, though. What about that setup? What if he starts running around the Earth at like hour 1, and then in the climax comes out of fucking nowhere?
In a mid-credit scene.
Sails through him.
And the entire time it's just the song from Chariots of Fire. It's just nonstop.
Oh man. So Cyborg jacks into the Nightcrawler and starts sending rockets down to Steppenwolf, who just catches one, redirects it into the tunnel wall, and pieces out, leaving our heroes to deal with the fact that the tunnel they're in is underwater and about to collapse. So they start to get out of there with a slowness inappropriate to the situation. Mm-hmm. But lucky for them, Aquaman busts in through the hole in the tunnel. He's taking up his mantle, he's got his like armor on, he's got his trident, and somehow he's able to hold back water.
We never got the scene of him like taking up the mantle at Atlantis and like grabbing the like trident and putting on the armor.
Doesn't his trident have 5 tines on it? Wouldn't it be like a quint dent?
Yes.
I mean, yes.
just saying.
Doesn't roll off the tongue like trident, though, so I guess that's
no,
why
it does not.
do it.
No, it does not. Sorry, carry on.
So Steppenwolf gets back to his base, and the mother boxes show him that the ultimate weapon, the anti-life equation, that Darkseid's been searching the universe for, is on Earth, which he knew but forgot.
It's so stupid. I hate it. Also,
well, and then, so this is the thing that Darkseid's been searching the universe for. Oh, it's there. Well, Steppenwolf, you carry on with your whatever the fuck it is you're doing down there. I know this is really important to me, more important than anything in the whole universe. But just carry on. I'll get down there.
I mean, also,
let me know how it goes.
The fact that something is in the comics does not, by like default, make it cool or interesting. So just because the anti-life equation is something that Darkseid is all about in the comics does not mean it's something that millions of people are going to have any shits about in a fucking movie. Because it is so stupid.
It's the stupidest sounding. You can say it with the like neatest voice that you've got, but it's dumb as hell.
Yeah, give it a better name.
Exactly. They could have just called it anything else. It would have been fun. It's still the same idea, but just call it anything else. Could you imagine if Thanos like opened up a fucking portal to Earth and was like, I came here for the anti-life equation? It would have been fucking ridiculous.
Everyone's like, anti-life? You mean death, you moron?
So anti-life, I'm sorry, don't you mean pro-choice?
Until he leaves.
Yeah. Somebody says anti-life equation, and well, he says that, and then somebody from deep back in the crowd just goes, nerd.
Equations are stupid.
Yeah. God. Fuck math.
E equals MC suck my dick.
What is this, Common Core?
But not only that, like it's an equation that is carved into the surface of the Earth, as if like all you need is the right perspective and you can see it.
That's the thing that baffles me the most is that Darkseid was there.
Yes,
he saw it,
but forgot what Earth was.
he talks about like they've conquered hundreds of thousands of planets or something, and like this is the only one that ever repelled him. You'd think he'd remember. Doesn't remember. Lost the anti-life equation.
Somebody closed that tab in his browser and he just couldn't remember it.
It's in my other pants. I don't know.
Very dumb. Anyway, now the stakes are even higher because it's not just the Earth under threat; it's the entire universe.
It's all life everywhere.
All life everywhere. So, Cyborg brings his mother box to the rest of the team and explains where it's been and history and shit and how it was used to make him. Explains what it is. It's like a change machine.
Boy, this really made me feel like Cyborg is just a ripoff of the Vision, where he's like getting his powers from some other cosmic power that's fused into him. He's this like sentient machine character, and he's also just a MacGuffin who can also fix all of the problems because he's part of the problem.
So something he does in the epilogue, he smashes this tape recorder that his dad left him, but in the epilogue he's able to put it back together. So does he have like the abilities of the mother box?
Sure. Some of them.
He's like, that's even crazier power. Well, anyway.
Yeah, even more of a reason to not be so sad.
Yeah, chill out, right? Kick back. I mean, if he's got the power of the mother box, couldn't he change his the way he looks or whatever?
Yeah, make him look like a normal dude.
Your mom died, so your dad gave you another mother.
Yeah. You lost one mother box, you got another mother box.
It's true. You came from one mother's box, and now you have a mother box unto yourself.
Yes. Here's your stepmother box.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, so let's just talk about...
Her name's Candy, and you will respect her, damn it.
Let's talk about Martha... let's talk about Martha Manhunter real quick.
Okay.
So yeah, this whole part ends with Lois Lane having a heart-to-heart with Martha Kent, who is just like, Lois, you're so important. You need to save the world. You're just so important. Having a cup of coffee, just really having a heart-to-heart. And then, the conversation ends. Martha leaves and warps into this military guy that we've seen before. And instantly, anybody kind of vaguely familiar with the Justice League knows that there's only one shapeshifter, and that's Martian Manhunter. So you kind of do the math pretty quick with just that reveal. And it just seems crazy. Like, how long has he been doing this? Because I thought it was one of the cooler things, because I think this is a character that's in Man of Steel in the first Superman, Zack Snyder movie. So the fact that if this had been his plan all along, I'm not saying it was, then that's fascinating. That he'd been like planting Martian Manhunter all the way back to that. That's cool.
I think people had been speculating that he was the Martian Manhunter the whole time. I think even back then.
I just wish they had done something with him, included him in all this, because he's cool as fuck. But hey, how you doing? I'm Martian Manhunter. And scene.
Well, after that reveal, after that half reveal, you kind of feel like, oh, we're gonna get more of this, and then you don't.
Not really. And this also, so this scene between Martha and Lois is kind of a nice scene. It's like the only scene of its kind in this movie. But then it's revealed that it's Martian Manhunter, and it ruins
takes away all of the sentimentality, all of the sweetness of the scene. Yeah, 100%.
This meaningful character interaction never really happened. It was a bad choice.
He says things like, "Oh, you're the key to the future," and like all these things, which imply like he's had a vision of the future that we end up seeing later on in the epilogue and whatnot. It's like, how has he had that vision to know Lois's connection to this plot?
It's almost like they took a bunch of shit and just smashed it all together into this weird cut. Let's call it a Snyder cut.
Let's call it... And let's leave flaming bags of poop outside of Warner Brothers until they release it. Add $30 million. I don't know.
It was about this time, the second and third time I watched the Snyder Cut, where I just checked out. From now on, I just sort of looked at it. I saw things moving.
I'm going to be honest.
Maybe things were fighting. I was completely out of shits to give at this point.
I watched it a month and a half ago when it came out. I took my notes, and then I was going to rewatch it for this, and I couldn't do it. So I just watched recap videos.
Yeah.
And
I watched it once when it came out on HBO, and then when I found out we were doing this, I really don't care about y'all enough to watch it again.
yeah, no, I mean, I love you, but this was, I wasn't going to spend 8 hours watching.
No.
Honestly, fair. You know, I would have felt bad if
Let alone 12, Rob. Jesus Christ.
4-hour movie. I did watch it again, like a boss.
Nerd.
Seriously. Fucking trying to figure out the anti-life equation, you little bitch.
I had to solve it. I went
solve for
straight
X.
up Goodwill Hunting on the anti-life equation.
God, you know what would make this movie cooler? Algebra.
Yeah.
Solve
It makes
for X.
everything cooler.
So they decide to dig up Superman's
Yes, great idea.
they think the mother box is able to bring him back. So,
but they also say that they have to
grave robbing mission.
Yeah, but they like refuse to use any powers to dig him up. Like Flash is like, I could do this like real quick, and they're like, no, let's respect the grave. Like, what the fuck? Why?
Before we reanimate a corpse.
Before we reanimate a corpse, let's fucking let's grave dig this proper.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which, if I was a Flash, I'd be like, he's dead. He doesn't know.
Oh, God. What smells worse than a mother box?
I don't know.
Dead Superman, I think.
This is like
probably.
Super corpse.
This is your one chance to draw a penis on Superman's forehead. And you squandered it.
It's your one time to tug on Superman's cape. Okay, Here's my question. Superman dies at the end of Batman v Superman, correct?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Somebody collects that body. Mm-hmm. Somebody identifies that body as Clark Kent and sends it back to the Kent family so that they can then bury a body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So everybody knows who Superman is.
I forget how they explained it in that movie because they have two graves.
There's a Superman grave.
There's a Superman grave.
But they go to Clark Kent's grave specifically and dig him up.
Correct.
So, someone in the government knew that Superman is Clark Kent and sent him back to the Kent family to be buried.
I can't remember how that worked. It might have been related to Bruce somehow, like Bruce.
That could make sense.
Got his corpse. I can't remember.
Well, maybe somebody can write in and tell us.
If somebody could make sense of it,
I'm not going back.
Maybe we could add another hour to this movie and we could explain that too.
Yeah.
So they have to get the corpse, the mother box, get on that Kryptonian ship, and whisk it all together to get Superman back to life. So Diana tells them all to get dressed, and Cyborg, finally starting to see the benefits of his situation, replies, "I'm always dressed."
Is he though?
Yeah.
But he also says this while literally getting undressed. Takes off his hoodie. The crew does the break into the Superman ship. There's costumes, fake IDs, hacking the system, the whole works. Arthur respectfully dumps Superman's stinking husk into the life slime or whatever.
Yeah. That's my favorite note I have written from this fucking movie is dip soups in the goop.
Yeah.
Because that's the solution. Throw them in that gross amniotic fluid that's just been standing in this fucking shit for who knows how long.
Wouldn't there have been some decomposition though?
Slime.
Oh, he must smell terrible. He must just.
There's got to be the pulled back fingernail look and whatnot. And
I mean, I'm not familiar with Kryptonian decomposition, but yeah, I can only imagine.
There's got to be something.
Oh, it's only been like a week or something since he died.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the timeline of this doesn't make any sense. They are not specific.
It seemed like a week to me, and we're only in part 4 or 5 right now. It seems like I'd been watching this movie for a week already.
I think we are in part 5, so we're getting there. But yeah, I think in the theatrical version, it's like a year. But
God,
it's less.
That's even worse.
Well, again, who knows? I don't know what Kryptonians do. Maybe they just sit there like a stone.
That's fair. That's fair. The yellow sun just preserves them like Lenin's corpse. You can just...
or maybe we're thinking wrong. Maybe Superman would decompose, but perfect as Henry Cavill doesn't.
No, that's the part. That's this is true. Yeah.
It's a good-looking dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's a handsome man.
The mustache, though, kind of grew when you died. I think that's.
Mustachioed Henry Cavill is top tier.
Yes.
So they have to wake up the box to revive him, which they know will attract Steppenwolf.
Mm-hmm. Barry's got to boop the box.
Barry has to boop the box because the ship doesn't have the power. Lois just happens to be outside.
Do it, Captain. Yeah.
And just as they're about to give it a shot, Cyborg gets a vision. Everyone's getting visions now, where Darkseid takes over, killing Diana, and Aquaman and Superman joins them after Lois is turned into a smoking skeleton.
Oh yeah, brutal.
They go forward with it anyway. The box is thrown through the roof. And Silas finds it outside, and there, floating above everyone, Superman has returned. Unfortunately, he's fucking pissed about it.
Yeah.
You know how Zack Snyder buys into the whole like Superman is Jesus thing?
Yep.
You guys remember in the best-selling novel, The Bible? Jesus, a very popular character, he comes back from the dead. Mm-hmm. And he starts shooting like lasers and shit out of his eyes at his disciples. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, also,
where's that fucking Judas?
Also, I prefer Jesus in his black outfit. It's
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
My biggest problem with that is Jesus Cristo no es blanco.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I mean the main problem is that Superman is Moses. But whatever.
I let my people go. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is like, that's the thing I fucking hate about Zack Snyder's interpretation of Superman is this like individualism icon who's all about just the Ubermensch and just being like, it's like this Nietzsche / Ayn Rand, like I am the best representation of humanity or being a person, and only I can save people, but I do it because it benefits me. And he doesn't do a goddamn thing unless he's directly benefited from it, whether it's saving his family or saving Lois Lane or whatever. I think like there's a great scene in Man of Steel where like he saves a school bus full of children that are about to die, and they like out him and like try to chastise him and throw him out of Smallville for being a freak. And so he's like, well, I'm never doing anything for anybody again. And it's like, that's not Superman. That's like the anti-Superman. Yeah. That always rubs me the wrong way when I see this kind of representation. It's not Henry Cavill's fault. Like Henry Cavill, I think, is a great Superman and looks the part and fucking everything. But
I don't know. If I saved a bus full of people and they were basically like, fuck you, get out of Smallville, I'd have chucked that bus back into the river.
Find a deeper part in the writing.
No, Kevin Costner's like, just subdue yourself. You don't want to be too good or people are going to hate you for it. And it's like,
I think he was the Pa Kent character was more the problem.
Oh yeah, teaching him all the wrong lessons. Really
Superman. Yeah, it's like not shit that Pa Kent would ever say. It's it was very, very weird. Let's see where we are here.
No, but I mean, Superman goes fucking crazy. It turns into Superman v everybody, and
it's all right.
The only thing that can stop him, of course, is just the vision of Lois Lane.
Lois Lane. She's able to intervene and calm him down, and they fly off together.
Fortunately, she was there for the resurrection.
Fortunately,
nobody invited her, but she was just hanging out.
Well, because she goes there every day with a cup of coffee.
Because he goes straight from like reincarnating to or resurrecting to flying over to like the Superman memorial where he died, where he was like stabbed by Darkseid or whatever, and just stands there. He's like, huh, this is weird. And I guess she just visits that memorial frequently enough that she just happened to be in the neighborhood when he freaked out and showed up. So
yeah, they said she was there every day.
Very convenient.
The cop and the cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Who is Jimmy Olsen in the Superman movies?
Yeah, I just read that.
That cop?
Yep.
Yeah, he played Jimmy Olsen in the Donner.
Yeah, the original Christopher Reeves.
So now that the box is awake, Steppenwolf is able to track it by its scent. And
Sniffs it right out.
Warps in. So Silas has the box and rushes to get it into the room with the electron laser.
You might remember from earlier.
He tucked that away. But for some reason, he just, like, stays in the room with it. And, like,
it didn't seem necessary.
Dies for no fucking reason.
Because
really
this guy...
pointless self-sacrifice.
This actor has a history with technology running amok.
Yes. Yeah, yes. It's Dyson, right, from Terminator 2.
Yeah, it's Skynet himself. Killing himself with lasers like he's good at.
Killing himself with lasers. So Steppenwolf gets the box. Of course, nobody can stop his ass.
It's almost like it was bound to happen.
And the team figures out that Silas was superheating the box so that it would be the hottest thing on the planet, so that they can track it down and find his base.
More than Pitbull's latest single.
He would know that they needed to find his base and whatever. Part 6.
He knows his son. He knew what he would do.
So Clark lands over at Kent Farm with Lois, and he sort of remembers who he is and all this good stuff. The rest of the squad go back to the Batcave and find the box, and formulate a plan where Barry needs to run faster than he's ever run.
That's,
like every time.
Every Flash story.
Go faster. And he has to touch Victor, Cyborg, while he's touching the box to force him into the box so he can tear them apart from the inside.
Flawless logic. Makes total sense.
Steppenwolf starts synchronizing the boxes. Clark, knowing those dudes need help, goes back to his ship, decides to get real goth with it, picks the black suit.
Can we talk about how quickly, like, how veiny and disgusting Steppenwolf's base gets the more he, like, levels up and upgrades it? Like, every time he goes back to his base, he, like, has a cutscene where he, like, levels up his base and it just grows and gets more veiny and bulging and, like, wah, wah, wah. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I don't know what's going on. Well, like, what's the relationship of the boxes to the base? Like,
I don't know.
I thought, like, it could only bring Apocalypse there if it was synchronized, and they're not synchronized. Whatever. It's movie shit.
I was, as I've mentioned, I was out of fucks to give at this point, so I just didn't really care.
Well,
how that worked.
They're building to the finale pretty quick now, though. It's moving pretty fast.
I was just glad that the Russian family was no longer from the Joss Whedon cut was no longer in the area.
There was a Russian family?
Don't remember that.
Oh God,
didn't see it.
Oh, it was awful. It was a family living in a house, hiding in a house where parademons were flying all around. Couldn't seem to get in because it's a house.
Windows and shit.
It was. It's not even worth talking about. It was just painful.
Good. No problem.
Yeah. Nice to know they weren't here anymore.
The worst thing Joss Whedon ever did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Including the abuse of his actors.
Oh. Okay.
Look. We got a job to finish here. And if I got to poke and prod you to do your fucking job. I mean, look, you're sitting on a set all day eating fucking cheese and
oh God, I know.
And whatnot. Get your ass to work.
Seriously. I think Joss Whedon and Christian Bale need to make a movie where they just yell at people on set.
I don't know. I don't know much about what happened there. In my mind, it was lazy people getting yelled at.
It did seem like it was maybe a little overblown.
But it's still got to be better than being yelled at by Tom Cruise.
Well, yeah. I don't want to get yelled at by some small man and can't do nothing about it.
Some little angry man.
Yeah, and you can't do shit because then all of Scientology's coming after you.
Yeah.
No, that's got to be the worst.
Fucking Squirrel Patrol or whatever they call it. Camp out outside my house. And...
Can't wait to see that movie where he dies in space. Anyway, let's get back to the attack on Hell Mountain here.
The old Justice League starts their attack. There's a whole bunch of steps involved here. Like Batman takes out a tower that's generating a shield and gets in the Batmobile, and this is like probably the most headache-inducing part of the movie.
More CGI,
gunfire and violence, and everyone joins in the killing spree. Parademons are getting impaled and cut in half.
There's a shot where all CGI, like a rubber doll version of Aquaman, like jumps on a parademon and surfs on his body.
And my note was, what are Aquaman's powers? Can he fly?
Surfs on anything?
Surfs on parademons. At one point, he falls through like an 8-story building and jumps out the front, sticks the landing. Is he superhuman?
The only DC character I care about is Aquaman.
Okay.
For some reason, I don't know why.
That makes so much sense, Blake.
It does. It really does. So he can jump really, really high. He can't fly, but it all has to do with he can do all these superhuman things underwater. So when he's not under the constraints of water, it's even more amplified.
He's got less gravity on him, less pressure.
So
on him.
He's bulletproof because his skin is used to the extreme pressure.
Okay.
So him like going through buildings and all, it isn't gonna matter.
All right. So now I love that scene.
I'll buy that.
Okay.
Because now there's context.
Now it's
thank you.
Now this movie is flawless.
Good. They should have just had me pop up in a little corner of screen, like the reason why. I know this looks crazy, but hold on.
Okay. Yeah. What would have made this movie better is a pop-up video cut. That would have been fantastic.
Hell yeah.
So yeah,
get fucking like Michael Ian Black to come in there and make some videos. Anyway, so Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Aquaman make it inside and confront Steppenwolf while Batman stays outside, just blowing parademons' fucking heads off. Diana and Arthur try to keep Steppenwolf at bay while Victor gets near the boxes and Flash tries to pick up the speed he needs. Superman shows up.
Gotta run faster.
And just embarrasses Steppenwolf.
Yes.
Cuts his ear off, makes him lick the white poop. Like, works his ass.
You quickly realize why they had to keep Superman dead for 90% of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this would have been a 20-minute movie. It would have been over in no time. Again, uninteresting characters if that's the case. Like, Superman is incredibly boring if all it needs is him to show up and conflict over.
Yeah.
Well,
Smash him.
That is Superman.
I know, it's the problem. It's the problem with Superman. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's the problem they would have with like Thor and stuff. Like, so that's why these guys constantly get depowered in movies so that they can tell stories without them just ending it in a few seconds.
At one point in the comics, like Superman would sneeze and create planets and shit in space. So
that's amazing.
Like, what are you going to do against
Morrison
that?
Story or something.
Yeah, what are you going to do against that? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Yeah, but I mean, it's very satisfying to watch Superman beat the shit out of Steppenwolf by without breaking a sweat.
I like it, but once again, there's nothing at stake here.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this movie would have been great if for whatever reason Superman wasn't dead at the beginning of it. Steppenwolf shows up. Superman just dispatches Steppenwolf, no problem whatsoever. That's the first act of the movie, and then Darkseid shows up, and for whatever reason, Superman gets put in the Phantom Zone or whatever, and then you have a climax. But to just hold it for this moment, it just feels.
Mother boxes again. I'm sorry, I missed it.
We're about to get there. We're about to go in deep inside that mother box. About to crawl up in it.
Balls deep.
So yeah, Superman does his shit, but the real thing is, Barry Allen's got to be the hero because he fucking warps time.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he catches like a stray shot from a parademon and goes down hard.
Yes.
So he can catch a sesame seed, but doesn't see that shot coming.
He's a flawed hero. He's got flaws.
Okay.
He's an everyman.
Gotcha. All right. I'll allow it.
So time runs out. Them boxes synchronize, and everyone gets vaporized. Barry sees everything going to shit. I'm not really sure why he isn't vaporized too. Does he like enter the Speed Force or something? It's like,
sure. He shook it off.
Like not in the same plane.
He shook it off and just started running again.
He's like, whew, universe got destroyed. No big. I just gotta run fast.
Just a little bit faster.
So he hits the speed of light. I liked all the visuals here. I like this part.
It did look cool. Stuff. Like, without a doubt.
Except for the wrists.
Yeah, they're running. And he's able to turn back time just far enough to touch Victor before the boxes sink. Victor gets inside the box, and he's confronted by a vision of his parents designed to fuck with his mind, but it's like all awkward and it's like, hi, welcome, Victor. You could be yourself again.
Yeah, it's the least convincing attempt to like manipulate him ever. Because
so it turns out
it's so great.
Turns out the vision is just three old ladies or something, and Victor just pushes them down and the boxes separate. Yeah. The boxes are just like old crones that have been trapped inside of this like biometal. I don't know.
That made no sense to me. There was no reason for that.
Nope. Didn't need to do it.
That steeped in the whole Fourth World saga that I know were those three women.
You just didn't need to do it. He could have destroyed the boxes. End of story. They didn't need to go inside of the boxes.
The boxes they said they were machines. They're like really advanced machines. Like, why would there be
like judge living organisms
inside it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
anyhow.
Or if he would have went into the boxes and it looked like the internet from Futurama.
Yes.
And he had to manipulate things inside of there, and then we got a movie.
If it looked like
he made Steppenwolf's money stack go to 0, and
boom,
he's done.
It should look like The Net from Sandra Bullock's The Net. I mean, just give me like a pop-up window that won't go away, and just that's flashing red alert.
So that's that for the boxes. Steppenwolf gets super mad, but doesn't realize the overkill scenario he's about to be put through.
Oh boy.
He gets impaled by Arthur's trident, gets sent flying by a punch from Superman, gets his head chopped off midair by Diana, sails through a portal that's been opened, his head slides to a stop in front of Darkseid, and stomped and crushed under Darkseid's boot.
Yep.
Fuck you. It's like a Disney villain getting killed so hard.
Yeah.
It does seem like Arthur and Diana probably could have handled this if they like gave a shit.
Yeah, they were fighting him for like 10 minutes. Just one
Superman
stab,
just kind of gave him a couple of punches, and that was enough to just stumble him, I guess. But yeah, oh well. The Darkseid stuff. I mean, the Darkseid stuff is ridiculous. First of all, we met Desaad, but we haven't really gotten to meet his other posse, including his granny.
Yeah, the old lady sidekick he's got.
She's got a great name. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Rob, you might know.
Goodness?
I don't remember.
I don't either, and
But yeah,
just heard today that she was in the movie. I've seen that scene 3 times, and I didn't recognize her. Because as I mentioned before, I was out of shits to give. I just didn't.
Yeah, it is Granny Goodness, and her whole role is basically just to like train Darkseid's minions.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't mention any of that. It's just an old woman standing next to Darkseid, and it's like, give me that story.
So Darkseid gets a good look at the group.
Why did we have a CGI Steppenwolf when we could have had Granny Goodness the entire time?
What could have been?
It could have been the same story, but with Granny Goodness instead of Steppenwolf.
Yeah, and Superman just punching the shit out of her.
And they could have saved. They could have saved $20 million.
Oh man. So Darkseid just tells his minions to pack their shit. They're going to Earth.
Yeah. He sees one Kryptonian and he like shits his pants.
Oh yeah, big dookies. Apocalyptical dookies.
Oh boy.
Then we get a nice hero shot of the titular Justice League and a cut to black.
Yeah, they're going to renovate the old Bruce Manor, the old Wayne Manor.
And then, unfortunately, we get an epilogue
like
full of all the
epilogues.
worst stuff of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur parts ways with Mira to go see his father. This guy that's going to become the Atom, I guess, shows up briefly.
Okay.
Ryan Choi.
Barry sees
his dad.
Taking over Star Labs.
Yeah. Barry sees his dad again to tell him he got a job in a crime lab. Bruce buys back the Kent farm.
I was so pissed off about that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I also
Bruce Wayne's supposed to be a billionaire that knows what he's doing. And he's like, how did you get the house back? Instead of saying, oh, I went to the auction and put in a low bid and I got this house at a discount for you, I bought the fucking bank.
Yeah. I bought the bank. Bad investment, Bruce.
It's like, I don't think... Even if you buy the bank, you like own all of the things that the bank owns.
Yeah, that
No,
doesn't mean you can just
buy a bank overnight. You don't just walk in with cash. Go, I'll have
Look,
this.
he could have.
I bought the FCC too.
Yeah, go to the auction and buy the shitty farm that nobody else wants.
Yeah,
and you probably could have saved money. Well, I know you would have saved money compared to an entire bank.
He's a bad rich man. Like,
yeah.
He's inventing these massive, like, monstrous vehicles that get destroyed immediately.
Anybody that's seen him drive knows that he shouldn't be trusted.
He spends half the movie trying to invent a plane. We have those, Bruce.
Right.
And yet he still runs Windows 95. I mean,
Wonder Woman's got an invisible one right over there.
Oh boy.
Where?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
So
which can be picked up on radar. We're good. I just have to read
it.
Yeah,
I believe you. Everything is pretty superfluous from this point on. The fact that like none of the threads that he sets up in these epilogues will ever be continued, and the fact that some of the scenes are just fucking terrible. And
these
enough to leave
dialogue.
These scenes only exist just so people will troll online and be like, "We need the sequel. We need the Snyderverse." That's the only reason these exist.
Yeah,
probably. Lex Luthor escapes and then meets with Deathstroke, who wants to kill Batman.
Mm-hmm.
We get another peek into the grimdark future where Superman turns evil. There's a team of Batman, Cyborg, Mira, Deathstroke, Flash, and Jared Leto's Joker.
Oh,
sort of.
The least popular Joker of all time.
Wearing like kitchen smock. Like, I don't know what
dish gloves.
Yeah.
For some reason. Dish gloves on.
I'm about to say something. Like, first off, I hate Batman and I hate the Joker. Just
strong take. Okay.
Full disclosure. I think Jared Leto's Joker is my favorite one.
Wow.
Yo, coming in with the hot takes.
Wow.
Yeah, no shit, that is the hottest of takes.
That might be that might be the most twisted take I've ever heard.
Well, I will say this. I'm sorry. Besides Jack Nicholson's
fair. Okay.
Joker. Like just because that's the first Joker that I saw.
There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good ones. It's
but no, Jared Leto to me is the best one. I don't know why. I just like it. But that being said, I I just despise Batman and Joker so much, but that's
fair.
just
I think that's fair. We just watched a wild fucking Batman story for the Multiversal Soldiers podcast, where it was like,
hell yeah,
it was an anime done in collaboration with WB Animation called Batman Ninja, and it's the guy that created JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's fucking wild, and it's an interesting take on that feed. Thing.
It came up in my feed, and when I saw it, all I could think was, I hate fucking Batman.
Yeah. Right. Oh boy. Oh boy. But the Joker in that is played by Tony Hale from Arrested Development and Veep and all kinds of things, and his play on the Joker is wild, to say the least. So there's a lot of great ones out there. It's a fun movie. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And it's only 85 minutes.
What?
God, I'll watch it again just because it's only 85 minutes, not 19 hours. What is that what this clock
right.
at, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, 19 hours.
So yeah, you get that crazy. You get that crazy epilogue, but then you also get the Martian Manhunter one that again just feels super tacked on.
Oh yeah, like
Batman wakes up from this dream, and like Martian Manhunter's just out there, just wants to say hey.
Yeah, what's going on?
I mean, it was tacked on because apparently the Bruce Wayne part of it was already filmed, and the idea was it was supposed to be a Green Lantern cameo, but that got nixed, and so they changed it at the last minute to be a Martian Manhunter cameo.
Yikes!
Still doesn't make any sense.
No.
If it was Green Lantern, where the fuck was he for the last 4 hours?
Yeah,
I'd like to see more Green Lantern stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Ryan Reynolds hasn't ruined it for everybody.
I only recently got into Green Lantern like a few years ago, and fell in love with the Orange Lantern.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, they start going crazy with the whole different color scale of it.
The Orange Lantern to me is awesome, but I shouldn't get into that. That's a whole big anyway.
It's a rabbit hole going down that one.
Yeah, exactly. Orange Lantern's awesome. Look him up in your own free time. He's fucking awesome. Larfleeze is his name.
Yeah, but there's plenty of stuff they left on the table that they didn't get to for whatever reason, whether it was because they had plans for other movies or they didn't want to do it or what, I don't know. But what they chose to do is it's out there. Just
cut the footage, bro. Like, I mean, you don't have to put every scrap of footage that you shot in the movie. The entire epilogue is there's a part where, Clark comes at the camera, opens his shirt, Superman symbol, cut to black, roll credits. Like, leave this epilogue shit out of here. It really brings the whole thing down. It's like an extra half hour on the movie.
Yes, and the whole scene of Batman and Joker, I don't know what the fuck that was all about. I don't know what they were discussing, what the resolution was, what it meant. It just was completely pointless.
I know way too much. I know more than I need to know because I've watched explainer videos, and it's stupid. It's really stupid.
I'm cool with that. If it's stupid, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it.
It's dumb. They make some pact, and Joker's like, here, as long as I give you this Joker card, we're good. We're going to be a team. And if it ever gets torn up, then we're not going to be good anymore. And so, there's
who cares?
There's a scene in Batman v Superman where Bruce Wayne has the flashback and you see the card floating torn up, and that's supposed to symbolize something, but it's so fucking stupid.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. No. Just... No.
Well, if that's the case, in that timeline, Superman's evil. Never mind.
Yeah, in that timeline,
Superman, tell him to keep it in the Fortress of Solitude, and you never have to worry about Joker again.
So let me explain that timeline. In that timeline, Bruce Wayne and Lois Lane have an affair. Lois Lane gets pregnant with Bruce Wayne's baby. Superman finds fuck out, freaks out, and turns on humanity. That's how that happens.
Yeah. Bruce, get some.
Look.
Fuck the consequences.
I agree with him.
So that's what Zack Snyder had in mind. That's what we're fighting for.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah, fuck Zack Snyder. I just never want to see anything by that guy again.
Ridiculous.
And then, so this future thing too. I think it must have been shot after Army of the Dead because it has the same look.
Because Tig Notaro shows up for no reason.
just in the background. They just replace Miro with Tignataro. But yeah, he uses this, like, the entire Army of the Dead movie is shot with this, like, incredibly narrow, shallow, like, depth of field, so nothing's ever in focus, and, like, this whole part was the same deal.
Speaking of that, I texted you a while back about how, you know, they were talking about is a dead pixel, and he never really gave like a deep explanation as to why things look that way. And I said that I came up with the first perfect cover your ass for that.
Yeah.
And so the main character in the zombie movie, can't even remember the name of Army of the Dead.
Bautista?
Yeah, Scott. I think his name's Scott in the movie. Anyway, every time he goes to look at something close, he always puts glasses on.
There you go. So you're seeing it from his POV?
It would be a play on that. Like,
yeah.
If he would have said that, it would have been so much better than, I just thought it would have looked fine. You know, like, then there would have been something.
So the whole thing is from, like, Terminator POV, but for, like, a nearsighted Dave Bautista?
Yes, exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good headcanon. I like that.
Yeah. But, you know, they didn't consult me once again.
No, that's better than anything they would have done, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, he said that it's to give you a sense of claustrophobia or something. It's bullshit. It's like,
it's definitely not lazy filmmaking. Use it
in specific scenes that you would want that feeling, not the entire movie. But
anyway. Like I said, he should have went with the glasses explanation.
Yeah, probably. He's just not a thoughtful filmmaker.
You know, I mean,
his movies. We've talked about this before.
Yeah,
I've heard him say, like, he does things because it looks cool. That's his only explanation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
and yet somehow his movies look better when you squint.
You know what's funny is this movie is so desaturated. I was like, why didn't they just make it a black and white movie? But then they released a black and white version. And it's just redundant. It's
needless.
Already basically black and white.
Also, my TV has a color button.
Yeah.
Anything can be black and white if I want it to.
Yeah.
But
wow.
But that's that movie.
We did it. We did it.
Yay.
In a actually kind of reasonable amount of time.
Honestly, I figured that could have gone a lot longer.
Yeah, probably.
Wait till the sequel.
Well. Oh, no.
Thank you, no. It was fun rehashing this for 3 hours versus watching it again for 4.
Yes, this was much more fun than watching it again.
Well, I'm glad you guys could join us. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry for the
so great
glitches here.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. Hopefully none of that'll make it into
It's an illusion. No one will ever know. You were here the whole time.
I was. I just didn't have my glasses on.
There you go.
We just got this from Dave Bautista's perspective. That's all.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, this was a blast, guys. Really was. Love what you guys do. This is hopefully a nice reprieve for you before you have to go back into something even worse. Who knows where you're going next? I don't know, but
yeah, I actually don't. I don't know. Actually,
I don't know what we're doing.
Oh, can we do Psycho Gorman? Let's do Psycho Gorman.
Oh, I still have to watch that. Yeah. Have you seen it yet?
No. I just really want to. So
yeah, sure. That's what we'll do.
Very much looking forward to it. We're doing Psycho Gorman.
Look at that. We're doing programming already.
I know. We just saw an executive decision. We were in on an
Well, what it is, he just wore me down for 2 hours where I don't give a shit now.
No, I just... this is one that I actually... So in the way we sort of reorganized the show, I think we've also kind of redefined what the show is. So something that could be defined as garbage is just like lowbrow cinema, whether it's good or bad or fun or not or whatever.
Sure.
And I think so. I've heard Psycho Gorman referred to as like an Amblin movie through like the Tatsunoko lens or something. So yeah, I mean, I've heard it compared to like Monster Squad, stuff like that. So I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be like,
okay,
super like a coming of age story with absurd violence.
Works for me.
Yeah, it's on Shudder now, so I've been looking forward to it for a while. Like Patton Oswalt was really talking it up when it first dropped.
Okay,
sounds
well,
weird.
that's settled.
Yeah, let's do Psycho Gorman.
Yeah, no
We're
problem.
having some fun.
Whatever.
All right.
It's
Enjoy
all
it.
shit to me
Enjoy
anyway, so
it.
it really doesn't matter.
So everybody check out the Multiversal Soldiers podcast.
Yes.
Where are you guys at? I know you're on Spotify.
On all your streaming services, wherever you pod your casts, your Spotify's, your Tunes, your all that. We release on Fridays. Got a lot of backlog episodes to go through. We do miniseries focusing on just weird, oddball Marvel and DC adaptations. Right now, we're focusing on 2014's NBC's Constantine with Matt Ryan, which got no love in its run, so it's fun to kind of go back and visit. But we just did Japanese Spider-Man. We've done some really fun stuff recently. So we've been on a high as far as the stuff we've been watching, which I'm sure will inevitably crash. We had you on to do our Man Thing episode, which was a blast, John. That was so much fun. Still one of the more fun things we've watched. I still won't get some of those images out of my brain. But it's been fun. Me and Rob just having a blast. It's a good way. We started during the pandemic, and it's been a good way to just kind of keep in touch and shoot the shit and stay occupied. So
yeah, definitely. All right.
Oh,
all right.
Thank you. Hope to see you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
A blast.
Thank you for listening to Garbage Theater. As always, you can find us online at facebook.com/Garbage Theater, on Twitter at Garbage_Theater, and on Instagram at Garbage_Theater. If you'd care to leave us a review on iTunes, we would very much appreciate it. And if you have a movie suggestion or just want to reach out to us, you can contact us at any of our social channels or email us directly at garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest episodes and happenings. Good night, and see you next time, folks.